Here's a crowd pleaser that's good for any party table and completely stress-free. Smoked sausage sliders. So whether you call it kielbasa, or just smoked sausage, you'll probably want about a pound for this recipe. You'll also want some brown sugar, and it doesn't matter if it's light or dark, just a couple tablespoons. Of course, you'd also like to have some nice sized dinner rolls because we are making sliders. And then we'll talk a little bit later about some toppings to go alongside. Okay, so I've already begun to cut our kielbasa, and again, I'm just doing it in a little bit of an angle. Some people call that on the bias. I just think it looks a little bit better for our final result. Alright, so once you've finished slicing all of your smoked sausage, we're going to lay it out in a pan, and this is going to go in the oven. Now I will say about the pan, I usually take this straight from oven to buffet, and so the point here is I would pick a pretty pan if you're going to do the same thing. And in fact, growing up, we didn't do the slider option. We simply laid out the sausage and maybe put a few toothpicks alongside so that people could help themselves. And that is certainly an option to make this easier as well. So we're just going to lay this out in pretty much an even single layer. They can be just slightly overlapping. Alright, just last few in our pan. And now let's go to the next step. With clean hands, we are going to cover these little rings just slightly with our brown sugar. And not a huge amount unless you're a sweet tooth or you know the crowd coming by is, but just enough to give it a nice glisten. And after we do this, we're going to pop these guys in the oven. Alright, well that is looking really good. Let's get some of our dinner rolls also ready for the broiler, and I've already sliced these little guys, so we're gonna just lay a few of them out as well. Alright, now that we have the broiler on preheating, we're going to pop both pans in at the same time. For the smoked sausage, we're going to be looking for a nice bubbly crust of all of that sugar. Some of the fat will release from the sausage and it'll just make a delicious sticky coating all over our little rings of sausage. I would also just keep an eye on your broiler for your dinner rolls. They'll toast up nicely, and I don't really know exactly what time your oven will take to do this. My oven, I keep the rack a little bit lower so that I have a little bit of leeway on checking. Alright, and while they're going, let's work on a couple of sauces to go alongside. So while we wait for everything to come out of the oven, just have a couple of minutes. I'm going to put together a couple of easy sauces. The first one is almost there. It is simply a homemade Dijonnaise, which I think cuts the sweet of the sausage very well. And what I combine is 1 part a very strong Dijon mustard with about 3 to 4 parts of a light mayo. It makes a great topping for our sliders. Okay, great. Sauce number 1 done. Let's move on to a second option. For this second sauce option, we're still keeping things super easy with my favorite store-bought barbecue sauce and just a little squeeze of lemon. If you haven't tried this, it is pretty amazing what 1 tiny squirt of lemon can do to make your barbecue sauce feel bright and fresh compared to just out of the jar. Just a teaspoon or so into about half a cup of your favorite barbecue sauce does the trick. Make sure it's mixed in thoroughly. Give it a taste. Absolutely delicious. Okay, and I am smelling our sausages, so let's give us a little room to pull these 2 pans out of the oven. Oh wow, yeah? Oh, this smells great. Wow. Everything is perfectly toasted for our dinner rolls, and we have achieved a really great crust from that simple sprinkling of brown sugar on our smoked sausage. Yum, I can't wait to try a couple of these. This slider combination only takes a matter of minutes to put together and a matter of seconds to devour. I hope you try this recipe.